a percentage of the community has turned around and been pretty toxic.
We should just be happy with what we get.
If that's what it's going to devolve into, get rid of Minecraft Live.
Hello and welcome to Minecraft Lab, where we explore, experiment, and theorize about all things Minecraft. I am Miner Thoughts, and with me is a man who has not announced new wood, the Troge.
What?
There's no new wood announced. And with us today, our special guest is a man I once told to hold my beer, stand back while I blow myself up. Jurassics.
Hang on, did you just refer to me as a man?
Well, yes.
I've been called all kinds of things of late. Parrot, lizard, man. Shocking, but it's good to be here.
Welcome, my friend. Welcome. It's great to have you. I think it's your first time on the podcast.
It is my first time.
They always say you'll never forget your first.
Well, let's make it something to remember.
It is that time of year.
Yes, it's update time. We got a reveal. That's what we're going to be talking about. Today is the 1.21 reveal, and give our thoughts, our opinions, our concerns, our worries about what we were given. Because just like last year in 1.20, the update cycle is different. We're getting just tidbits of what is ready, what they've got ready to go, and let's get into the discussion of what we saw.
What we saw was a very different Minecraft Live event, I feel. It was very different. Like in tone, the feel. I think the nicest thing I can say about it, it was different.
Yes, the production value was really, really high on this one. It was kind of like a virtual set. I think about that, some people, I saw on Twitter, around the social media, that some people were thinking this was not really live. This is not, shouldn't be considered live because a lot of it looked scripted, like it was pre-recorded. Are we getting away from Minecraft Live as it is?
If that is true, then does that give rise to the fact that the theory that the mob vote was rigged? Because I'll admit, it did not feel like a live presentation to me. It was like a pre-recorded, it felt like a pre-recorded premiere.
Yeah, I think it definitely wasn't a live show. And I mean, you could argue that they pre-recorded every vote outcome and were able to splice that in where required.
That's true. It wouldn't be that hard to do that. But overall, as a package, let's put it this way. For Australian time, it would have required me to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch Minecraft Live and be wowed with what's to come. Due to work commitments, I couldn't do that this year. I thought, I'm not going to watch the fluff. I just want to see what I'm here for. And I think I had to skip over 3/4 of the video just to get to the new stuff, the interesting stuff. That was a lot of fluff that I would ask questions, does it need to be there?
I think this is very much intended for the younger audience. Like, a lot of the fluff that was in Minecraft Live was very much for, the younger audience to sort of give them an idea of what's going on. And, it's much easier for them to see things visually rather than understand some of the discussion points that are going on. For me, I would have liked to have seen more of what you saw back in the day at Minecon, where you had the different sort of tables, where you had the technical community discussing aspects, the Hermitcraft or SMPs, those different things involved in Minecraft Live. It definitely felt like it was more them telling us than a collaboration of what's going on within the Minecraft community.
I see that a lot, that they're getting disconnected from the community, Mojang. And I understand, okay, they were bought by Microsoft. They're being pressured to put something out every year. And other comments I've seen is it used to be to where it wasn't every year. They put something out, put an update out when it was ready, and but now that they're bought by a big corporation, that they're under pressure to put something out every year and advertise it, and that's what Minecraft Live seemed to me. It was just promotional stuff. It was advertisement. It doesn't feel like a live event. As we've been saying, it's just a lot of it, like you said, 3/4 of it was just advertisement for new stuff coming out. It was like, I don't know, watching an extended ad.
I think 2 points that both of you raise are really good. Is Jurassic's razor, it was aimed at the younger audience. And I think for the most part, I often forget it, but Minecraft does get aimed at multiple different audiences, right from young kids right through to, grandpas like us, so to speak, lack of a better term. So that's actually a really valid point, that they're not just going to put out a technical video with here are the things, because they want to appeal to the young kids with the fluffy and the nice and the funny and all that sort of stuff.
For me, I think they would have gone to releasing a yearly or a regular update anyway, because if you look back at sort of the interest in Minecraft, it does peak and trough with the length of time of updates. And when we have had those updates that have taken longer, then the sort of Minecraft interest has dipped, and then obviously a new one comes up. So I think naturally they probably would have gone into more of a rhythm of a yearly update just before the holidays. That's when the people that they're really aiming the game towards are going to be freer to take advantage of enjoying that update.
If Mojang came out, if they just come out and be transparent about it and say, okay, look, we'd like to do the end. We want to make the end special, but we don't know when it's going to get finished. If we didn't do a Minecraft Live next year and we just concentrated on the end, would that be okay?
Nope. Because what's going to happen, you're going to have the community up in arms going, they're lazy. And I've just remembered what my point was that I was going to make before. The community, we've only got ourselves to blame for the fact we're getting less and less information all the time, because this community has, and I'm going to say it, has a tendency to turn toxic really quickly if they perceive or get an assumption that they're being lazy or they're giving information. Now, I think the best Minecraft Live, now I'm going to just say it, I haven't been a Minecraft player for a long time, so Minecons were before my time. I never witnessed, watched, or whatever a Minecon. I'm a newbie to the realm, so to speak. But the best one for me was when they announced Caves and Cliffs. And because there was so much stuff, it was interesting. It was jaw-dropping. I think the whole hour and a half or whatever it was, it was a few years ago now, it was just, we're bringing this in. Here's a look. We're bringing this in. That was fantastic. It gave us a taste of what to come. Okay, it took them 2-3 updates to actually get it all out, but I would prefer that, because what we got at this Minecraft Live, even though the things themselves that they announced is actually that looks pretty cool, that's pretty interesting, which we'll get into, but there was no substance. I would have felt absolutely ripped off if I'd have got up at 3 a.m. to watch that, personally.
Yeah. I think you're right there, Trosh. Like, the community has, and we also saw it on this occasion as well, the community has turned against the developers at times, and if we're honest, they've probably pulled themselves back from giving too much information, because when they have given more information and it hasn't come to fruition, a percentage of the community has turned around and been pretty toxic and not understanding of the wider environment that's going on.
And you know what? We warned about that. If you go back to one of our previous podcasts, we said at the time, with the way that it was being, the developers were being so harassed and abused online for what was transpiring. I think we said, did we not, Minor, that let's hope that Mojang don't go too far back into their shell. And unfortunately, I think they may have. Let's face it, what they announced as the new features came out a week later. So it's not like it was a huge announcement of what's going to come for the next update. It was an announcement for what was coming in the next snapshot. Very shortly, you're going to have those features announced, just like they did do for last year's one. You know, they put out they did the live, and then all of a sudden we had bamboo, we had the camels, we had the bookshelves in the next snapshot. Great that we're getting that stuff to play early, but that's not announcing the next update. That's announcing the next snapshot. If that's what it's going to devolve into, get rid of Minecraft Live.
Yeah, I totally agree. Some of the decisions they've been making lately, and we could do a whole podcast on this. I think we had planned a podcast on this, how Mojang is changing, and Minecraft is changing, with the decisions to change the way the development cycle has been done, how Minecraft Live is changing, and how community events, you can't do a licensed live event using the Minecraft name, per se. There's rules behind it now. They need to get back to community, is what I'm saying. That's how I feel. The disconnect, and you're right, they've gone into a shell. They've become disconnected in a way.
If there's any disconnect, though, it's been driven from the community itself. We as a community have forced it on them because, let's face it, the work life is tough enough as it is, right? You do your job, you work the best you can. Even if you're working on a passion project, like probably many of them are absolutely passionate about this game that we call Minecraft. And then you go online and you see what you're working dang hard for, being absolutely smashed by the community you're working for free updates. Let's just put that out there as well. It's a 10-year-old game with free updates that we don't have to pay for.
14.
Sorry, my bad.
Game.
My bad. I apologize.
Next year.
All right. Sorry, my bad. That makes it even worse for us as a community. 14-year-old game, we're getting free updates. What other 14-year-old game do we get free updates for?
All right.
Hell, what 12-month-old game do we get free updates for?
I looked today at my camera account that I purchased many years ago, which I don't use. And 7 years ago, I paid £17 for it. And, what game now can you get for even a half decent game for less than 40 quid, $40, $50? I'm not sure how much it is in Australia. Like, we are so spoilt, to be honest.
I think I can still remember when my son first asked me, Dad, can I get Minecraft? My friend's a school player. Can I get Minecraft? And I asked how much it was. Now, I can't remember how much it was, but I remember saying to him, yeah, no worries, go for it. So it wasn't very much. And the fact that we own my old cam account, so we own 4 accounts in this house, we've well and truly got our money's worth, 100%. Now, while, yes, I've been here, I guess, smashing them for the way they've delivered Minecraft Live, and it's saying, yes, they have gone back in their shell, but I'm also going to defend them and say it's the community that have forced them to do that because of the way they got treated. And they continue to get treated with this stupidity that was #stop the mob vote.
Yeah. I do want to get into the stop the mob vote thing just a little bit, but there's one creator, Bedrock creator, that I won't say his name. I'll respect his anonymity, but he is really harsh on Mojang, makes a lot of suggestions. Here's my thought. What if, like every other developer out there, EA, Activision, the people that make Call of Duty, what if we had to pay for Minecraft? Well, you got the one time, or maybe you had to pay every year. But to get to the new content, just like all those other developers, you had to pay for a season pass to get the new content. You could buy the base game, but if you wanted the new content, you had to buy the season pass. And what if Mojang did that? Oh, sure, yeah, they could hire more people and put more people toward making bigger and better content. But you're right, we are spoiled with what we get it for free content. No season pass involved. You buy the game once and that's it. We should just be happy with what we get. I mean, and with the mobs, we're given the choice between 3 mobs. They're all great. They were all great this year. Some better than others, but just be happy with what you get.
I don't see the whole mob vote thing. It's a fun, like, the whole thing with this, why don't they just put all 3 in? Okay, but it's a fun little thing. It's not meant to be this big, we must have this one. No, it must be this one. It's a fun little gimmick that they have to give the community to have some little say in a little feature that they're going to put into the game. And we're not talking game-breaking, huge gameplay features here. Yeah. Why are we getting so worked up to the point where people are making expose videos? It was rigged. It was this. Move on. What you voted for didn't make the cut. Aja bye-bye. Move on.
I don't even think it's that. I think, same as in news, real life news, it gets interest, it gets clicks. So they're going to do it because it gets them, attention, gets them the people looking at their content. I don't think it's necessarily that they've really got a big problem with it. And like you said, none of them are going to be game changing. And especially for players like us, like the building community, the tech community, they're not going to be used. They're much more for the kids, which are, or those people who are interested in having mobs in their world. I very rarely have mobs anywhere in my areas at the moment.
And I think you've nailed a big nail on the head. I don't think it's the be-all and the end-all, but it's a big one, is a lot of the hoo-ha comes from those just seeking attention, seeking the clips. And Minor, you said, this Bedrock creator that puts his opinions out there and whatnot, it's just for clickbait. It's just to get that attention. That's all it's for, and it's a lot of the negativity stems from that because people want to get views. So they go and generate buzz and then watch it spread like wildfire. It's all for attention. But I have got to say, we've been now talking for quite a while, and we haven't even discussed what they actually did announce.
You're right.
Do you find technology frustrating, confusing, or just plain unrelatable? Hi, my name's Keegan, and I'm here to help with that. I run a podcast called Oversimplified. I take about 10 minutes and try to teach you one tech topic a week, and I try to make it relatable. For example, what do firewalls and cars have in common? Something like that. So if you want to learn a little bit about technology, understand what maybe people are telling you, or prevent yourself from being scammed, because I have an entire series on that where I take about a minute of your time and teach you how to be safer online, join me. Oversimplified Podcast, available anywhere you get your podcasts.
Let's discuss what we were given. The crafter. The big thing now is the crafter. The trials area. And say again.
The trial chambers.
Oh, the trial chambers. The copper variants I'm excited about. And then new mob, the breeze. Do you guys have any thoughts about what we were given so far? Is it enough?
I like what we saw. It's got a bit for the tech community. It's got a bit for the builders with the different blocks. It's got a bit for the adventure players and the explorers. It's got a bit of everything. My initial thoughts was, ooh, crafter. That was exciting. That was very interesting. The new block variations of tough and copper, as someone who dabbles in the art of building, was very exciting. Any new blocks always are. As much as I like the idea of these chambers, it feels odd to me to be putting into Minecraft a mini game. Now, I know as players, we make mini games, but for the game itself to now have a mini game, I don't know. I'm not against it. It just struck me as a bit of that's a shift.
It's like Dungeons 2.0. And we've said this in past podcasts that they're slowly going through and kind of upgrading and updating different things about the game. So I see those as like Dungeons 2.0. I'm hopefully, they showed a chest, but they didn't show what was in the chest. So I'm hoping that these trial chambers will give you something good that you don't see in like a regular stronghold or nether fortress or ancient city. something unique that is actually usable, that you can only get there, that it's, I know they're going to be procedurally generated, but something that will get you to continue to go back to these trial chambers and not just do it once, then you're done. And, you strip the place of copper blocks because you need them,
Well, it's funny you say that. I had my first two initial thoughts after seeing the trial chamber announcement was one, ready-made copper blocks. That was my first thought.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
My second thought was, diamond farm.
I don't know if there's going to be diamonds. I think that's a placeholder.
Possibly, but that was where my mind went when out of the thing popped a diamond, out of the spawner. And I was like, have they just introduced diamond farms? Geez, I hope not. I'm hoping not. I really, really, really hope not.
They've just increased the spawning on diamond ore, so to me it would seem a very strange inclusion in the trial chambers, amongst other things.
They have to find the balance of what loot to give without unbalancing other aspects of the game, and also making it actually worth your time to go in there to do it. And I've been very vocal of this, and I think we're going to touch on it on another podcast in the near future. Is they keep introducing things to the game that, as Miner just said before, you do them once and then you're done. So hopefully with this one, it doesn't follow that trend.
I think they also mentioned that they're going to be quite common in the world, which I really hope not. I hope they're a bit like the Deep Dark. They're not that common, but they're easier to find than, say, the archaeology ruins or the ruins.
Yeah, they do seem to be hard to find, those things. But again, they're not worth it though either. Like once you've gone in and you got the trims from it and you've got the sherds, you don't need to go back and do archaeology. You just don't.
That's true.
Like even if once you got your 2 sniffer eggs, you're done.
One thing that was mentioned about them that I think is smart, and I think will kind of balance things, prevent people from, farming it in a way, is it will scale in difficulty and hopefully loot drop depending on how many people go in. If people do want to farm things from it, mob drops, whatever things you get from those spawners, because let's face it, people will find a way to try and farm things, but it'll scale. If you want more, you're going to have more people AFK.
I think the implications too for people making mini games around these things is going to be very interesting, to say the least.
This last live stream that Tango did, I saw the wheels turning in his head. He's probably already thinking decked out season 3. So yeah, you're right.
Maybe not in the next world, but I think he'll do a decked out 3. But they do, I think they lend themselves to mini games creation around them. They're a good addition. They're an interesting addition. Let's get the balance right so they're not a one-hit wonder thing.
My thoughts on the trial chambers is the trial spawners. It'll be interesting to know what the cooldown is on how long it is before, you can go back and quote unquote farm them. I think that's going to be an interesting mechanic. Mm-hmm. Along with within the trial chambers, we also had the copper bulbs. I think everyone sort of looked at it as like a new lighting, cool, you scrape off the weathering and it gets brighter. But one thing that I feel was missed is it sounds like at the moment this could be a new redstone block, in the fact that it is a 1 block T flip-flop. You don't need to constantly power it like a redstone lamp. You just send a pulse in and it lights up. You send a pulse in again, it turns off. Yep. So that will be, for me, we got the crafter, but we also got that as like a real compact T flip-flop, which I think potentially could have as much an impact as the crafter does in new redstone builds. And really thirdly, and my last one with the trial chambers is the decorative blocks. It's really good to see the variations of tough and copper. I really hope that they bring in iron grates or, a a variation of some of those copper blocks to be used in more industrial themes as an iron variant. Whether that will happen, only time will tell. But hopefully the community can pass that feedback to Mojang.
More different blocks, the better for me.
And me.
One thing that someone pointed out, there's people that dig real deep and speculate like real high. Waddles, I'm talking about you, is the copper door. I like the copper door and the trap doors and things like that. I'm really, really glad, because that was a complaint, from the Minecraft community. Copper doesn't have enough uses. So I think they listened in that respect. But something about the copper door is, if you look close at it, it looks like it has a lock of some sort, It does the iron door. I'm not sure. Does the iron door have some kind of...
I don't think it does.
Also, in these trial chambers, there was the breeze. Now, some people are saying that could be an upgrade or update of like the copper golem. I'm not unsure. Is it a passive mob? Is it a hostile mob? It can, when it blows on things, it can interact with doors, trapdoors, buttons, things like that. Is this considered a hostile mob or kind of passive?
I think it's definitely going to be a hostile mob. I don't think it's... I see it as kind of a boss or a captain, I guess, within the trial chambers. So you'll be fighting him, and he'll be able to, or her, and they'll be able to push you towards the traps or into... If you look at the video, there was a slime spawner and another spawner in the background. So I think they're going to be there to sort of really make you think about how you're going to go into combat and how you're going to fight multiple different mobs at the same time, because we also know that these new mob spawners, the trial spawners, aren't going to be easy to break, and you might not even necessarily want to break them. So I think it's going to give you that different challenge that we haven't seen before.
But all we were shown in these spawners was the two different ones, the breeze and the strays, I believe. I'm hoping for different types of spawners within these, that it's not just those two. And again, I feel like it's a Dungeons 2.0 or something like that.
There was definitely a slime spawner in that video.
A slime spawner. New type of slime farm coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And
efficient.
Not as efficient, but if you don't want to go dig in a massive hole for a single player, that might be just enough.
Yeah.
What I think we're seeing here with this update is they're really continuing on with that get out there, explore, adventure style gameplay. But this time, they also seem to be bringing in a focus on the technical elements. And I like that.
Yes, especially with this latest snapshot. We were given the autocrafter. For most people, I've seen was what people are really excited about. But that in itself, I think, has to be covered in an episode of its own, because this autocrafter has implications. Some people say it will revolutionize Redstone and Minecraft technical as it is, and some people are skeptical. But let's get into that with our good friend Jurassics in the next episode. Let's just call it 1.21 Part 2, and let's talk about the autocrafter.
Sounds good to me. Nothing like a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Up for that.
Well, I mean, standing at the cliff's edge and looking over. We're not actually hanging from the cliff.
Not just yet, anyway. The train hasn't gone that far.
It's exciting, but, we're just looking over the edge.
Well, I guess on that one then, we will see you next time to talk about the crafter.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Testing 7 or 8, maybe 9, definitely 10.
And testing 11 and 12. Look at that. We can count.